What's up YouTube? Capital G here. We got action from the Robbie sponsored Mega Pack competition that happened on Saturday. I believe that this is either the semifinals or the top 8. It was definitely after the top 8 cuts, and this is Dark Law Lover right here playing Mass Heroes. This is the guy that ended up winning the whole damn tournament. He did not drop a single match throughout the entire night. He went either 7-0 or 8-0. I forget exactly what his record was, but he didn't lose in the entire night. And you see here he's playing against ABC, which is generally accepted to be the best deck in the entire OCG, and I think that seeing is believing when it comes to like these type of discussions where I say, man, I really think that heroes are going to be in a position where they can potentially like be one of the best decks in the entire TCG. People are like, oh, that's just ridiculous, it's just not gonna happen. And I'm like, nah man, I've seen this deck play against some of the best decks and just completely trash them. I think the deck is going to be strong. Now this is just my opinion, guys, that once Invasion Vengeance comes out and once they get Treatoad, which should exponentially raise the ceiling of Mass Heroes, I think that they're going to be probably one of the 3 best decks in the entire game. I could be completely wrong about this, but I just want to show this replay. And again, this is definitely 2 competitive decks. When ABC come out next month, like mid next month, I think they'll be the best deck in the entire game. They might have a little struggle with Cosmos, but I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. Like you can out Cosmos. This deck can make things like Utopia the Lightning. They have ways of getting around Dark Destroyer, which is limited to begin with. It was 2 out of 3, so I'm gonna actually roll games. I'm gonna roll both games back to back. So let's see what happens here. So I believe heroes are opening, and he opens with a hero lives, which means he already has Dark Law locked and loaded, although he is max seed, and both players opened up really good. He does mass change into Dank Law. He ends up sniping out that pot, and then I believe he set a Shadow Mist and then set 3 cards. It's a very strong opening. Not only does he have Soul Charge, so that next turn he could potentially load up for another Dark Law or like an XC play, but he obviously has a Solemn and he has a Darude Mirror Force, so I'm not sure you're going to be able to XC into this field. You're not going to be able to search into this field, and you're not going to be able to attack into this field. So he's basically locked down a lot of things. Now ABC on the other hand does have his own Solemn, so potentially maybe he can get rid of Dark Law, but let's see how it plays out. He got a copy of Terraforming, but I don't know if you want to use that. He goes for Rafflesia, that gets Solemned, and what's just so terrible about Dark Law, man, is just when your cards get Solemned, you just lose them to the graveyard, and I mean, you lose them out of the graveyard, and they just never come back. Now ABC, that's very important because you want your monsters in the graveyard so that you can banish them to summon ABC Buster Dragon. So he obviously can't activate the Terraforming, because if he does, and he goes for if he goes for Supply Hanger, or no, excuse me, Union Hanger, then he could potentially lose it for basically free. So he ends up setting the Solemn Strike and just passing. So Dark Law Lover gets an unfortunate top deck as he gets another Shadow Mist, which he already has like all of his Shadow Mist. I don't know why he didn't summon and attack it though. He may have been afraid of a Mirror Force, but he goes into his Rafflesia. Now he has the super lockdown field. Now he does play the Terraforming, and he's able to Solemn the Dark Law when Dark Law tries to activate its effect. He goes Union Hanger, and I believe that's going to be bottomless, so that's unfortunate. He does get to search a Bubble Man off of the Shadow Mist, and now, man, it's just like, it feels like ABCs just haven't been able to get off the ground. You see he goes for Castell. He's going to end up spinning the Union Hanger. Then he gets his Bubble Man, and here's where you just get the lockdown field, guys. This is the field that I'm talking about that just ends duels, and why I think heroes are going to be so good. You look at this field, right? Just analyze it. So you've got Treatoad on board, so he can negate any effect that you throw at him, whether it be a spell, whether it be a trap, whether it be a monster effect. You can't summon into this field because Rafflesia could just like, she could like floodgate trap hole you and put anything face down, and you can't attack into this field either because he has the freaking Darude Mirror Force. He has Call to Haunted, which is a 1-card Dark Law because it can get Shadow Mist. Like what do you do against this field, man? And this is game 1, so obviously there's no side decking. So I think he's gonna go Photon Thrasher, activates Hanger. He tries to summon, but that's going to get Floodgate Trap Hole, so it gets put face down. And I think he's going to scoop once he sees Called Haunted, and he realizes, that he's going to have a Dark Law. He pretty much just scoops at that point because he's got Treatoad. I think he was saving that for a potential Regeki, but he's probably going to get killed during this turn. It's almost certain. He could have actually went to Anki. I think Anki might have actually been a little better here, doing a little more damage, but Dark Law would definitely close the game out. So that was game 1. This will be game 2. and let's roll this and see exactly what's going to happen. So this time, I know some people are probably thinking, oh, well, heroes, they can only win when they go first. I don't know, man. With things like Pot of Desires making it, you know, I guess making it a little easier to make advantage inherently, not so sure about that. So ABCs don't have the, I actually don't think he's playing the Cyber Dragon Infinity build. Let me just look through right here and see if we see any copies of... No, okay, so we didn't see any copies of Galaxy Soldier. So he's playing like the XC version. Some people have said that the pure rank 4 XC version is better. He opens up with the Sea Crush Wyvern. He's got a Solemn. He's got a Twin Twister. It's actually a pretty solid field. I mean, shit, it'll keep Dark Law off the field. But once again, we have the Hero Lives, which is the 1-card Dark Law. So he top decks the Twin Twister, and this is why you just love Pot of Desire so much, guys. You activate it. It doesn't matter what you draw. The fact that he just gets enough cards where he can just Twin Twister and not have to worry about his hand, he's just going to be able to snipe out that Twin Twister, snipe out that Solemn, and then he can just do whatever the fuck he wants. He goes Hero Lives. Half of your life points don't matter when it means you get to go for Dank Law. I think he goes instantly in the Dark Law, then goes 10 Goldfish, goes from Monk, gets Bubble Man. Bubble Man means he has an instant Treatoad. Well, after he goes Bahamut Shark anyways. And I don't know, to me, it feels like after even one turn, it feels like the duel's already over. To me, because I mean, you've got Dark Law, so you're probably never going to see this guy summon ABC Buster Dragon. He'll never get his cards in the graveyard. You've got Treatoad to negate some shit, and you got to kill this Summoner Monk too. Otherwise, the Summoner Monk is just going to set up an XC play for next turn. If you don't kill Bahamut Shark, it's just going to get another Treatoad. Like, it just feels like the game's already over. Like, after one turn of heroes basically wrecking his board, which it was kind of lucky that, honestly, it was really kind of lucky that he got the Twin Twister, but, you know, luck is part of the game. Now, he doesn't actually... I would have kept the Mass Change in my hand for the Summoner Monk, but he doesn't. Goes for Utopia the Lightning, which can actually out the Bahamut Shark. So he has some breath here. Like, he has a little bit of breathing room if... Well, now I guess it depends. If Dark Law Lover draws a rank 4, he could just Castell this. Or if he draws a spell, he can just Castell it too. So I guess you need him to draw a trap, which actually, now that I think about that, just saying out loud, that sounds dumb because 2 out of 3 cards can just out this and basically win him the duel. So no, I would say he's still in a shitty position. He draws a spell, he should be able to pitch this, he gets 10 Goldfish, goes into Castell, and game's basically over. I mean, and that was a swift 2-0 of, you know, like the best deck in the OCG. Now, the thing is, I'm not saying that this match is just going to be indicative of how every single match is going to go ever. Like, you know, heroes are just going to be the best deck, going to be tier 0 or anything. I'm just showing that they can definitely fuck with the best decks in the game and that their turn 1 boards can be incredibly powerful. And he didn't even get the top tier of the top tier. The top tier board with heroes is, of course, like Dark Law, Treatoad with, you know, Bahamut Shark, and Rafflesia. That's the, like, you don't get to play Yu-Gi-Oh! At all. Everything you do will just be negated field. But, you know, this was just a quick demonstration of how strong heroes can be. If you still don't agree, that's perfectly fine. And, you know, 2 months, I guess we'll find out when Treatoad is released. But for my money, I think they're going to be one of the best decks in the game. I think that things like 10 Goldfish and Bahamut Sharks are cards to pick up now if you don't have them. And yeah, if you guys enjoy, just give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already.